Oh, right, I had the desktop audio muted too. I was confused because the audio channels are not all lined up on the uh on OBS. They're shifted a little bit because it has to deal with the media source from when I have the loading screen, basically, for lack of a better term. Oh boy, I'm just getting back into this, and I'm a little bit rough, as you can tell. But today, if it will load, oh boy, this likes to load. I forgot how slow loading the GameCube version of Phantasy Star Online is compared to the PC ones that I last played. So that should be fun. Now, of course, I don't even think going to this website link is going to do anything, even if we had our broadband adapter hooked up properly, which it is actually attached to the GameCube, but I don't have a cable plugged into it because I only have the one Ethernet cable up here, and it is plugged into my PC, as you might expect, because, you know, the stability of a wire versus Wi-Fi is significant. This online game, if we were to twiddle with some options, we could theoretically take this game online, because I believe there are still private servers for this version of the game. But we're not going to do that. We're going into the offline game, and we're going to take a look at our progress in the last, like, month and a half I was offline. Yeah, sorry about that, by the way. I fully meant for this to take, like, less than a month, but I ended up being kind of swamped at the beginning of the year, and some stuff took a lot longer than I had meant it to. And yeah, as you can probably tell, anybody who follows any of my YouTube stuff, that it took me like a week to get up the announcement that was going to be like, hey, yeah, this is what the year is going to look like. And then everything for that month came out at like the very end of January, because yeah. Anyway, so what I did, I believe I explained this at the end of my last stream of last year, and I explained it in the video on my stream archive channel, was that I was going to play through normal mode on my own and get a character all set up so that way we could skip over some of the most basic stuff, although goodness knows I'll still explain it. So we can go to hard mode, which will make the game play a little bit faster and everything, and also because on normal mode you don't get one of the phases of the final boss, so I wanted to be able to show off all of that in hard mode, and yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I built a robot girl, because of course I did. We're going into episode 1. There is episode 1 and episode 2. Episode 2 doesn't have a ton of story, and it's not something we're going to jump into right after this, right after we finish episode 1, because it is incredibly difficult. We will probably revisit it someday. In fact, I would want to do like a short run of Ultimate Mode for this, because it features completely different textures for all of the locations, and all the enemies, well, most of the enemies have new models and attacks and stuff. And if that happens, I will probably do some work offline, i.e. probably farting around with an action replay for a while to be able to roll us up some equipment that is interesting, so that way I can show more shit off, too, in order to be able to deal with that. Because yes, episode 2, I believe that way back when it was recommended that you ignore episode 2 until you are ready to go into the very hard difficulty. Or at least that's about how deep in you should be when you complete it is like into the next difficulty level past what we're at, which is kind of insane to think about. But we're jumping in here and we get ourselves a bit of a loading screen. We can move around this little sparkly thing with our stick if we want to distract ourselves, which, why not? Right? Oh, I can think of many reasons why not. Okay, so this is interesting and very strange. Actual One Piece one. Oh, that was actually... I remember that. Not offhand, no. I mean, I sort of remember it existed, but that's it. Anyway, we're starting out here not actually inside of the principal's office and getting the plot like we would if we were starting off a fresh character, but we'll go ahead and we'll fix that in a minute because all that dialogue should still be in the game. We're going to take a look at our stats while we're here, real quick, to try and get folks a little bit of grounding here. Oh, I still have money I haven't deposited. That's very odd of me. So a lot of this should be pretty familiar, but, you know, from any other RPG, but just to cover it. So top to bottom, ATP is our attack power. I think that's the name of it. By Samus's parents. Wow. Oh, geez. Yeah, the One Piece pirate rap was a... Boy, 4Kids really was not sure how to actually appeal to children on a lot of levels, were they? It's the Saban of anime. Which, yeah, that's not entirely surprising. Saban has a... Well, the man himself has an interesting history that I don't remember all of. Suffice to say that it's a little weird. Anywho, so yeah, back to this game. Stats. ATP, it stands for attack power. That's our ability to hurt things. DFP is defense power. The abbreviations on these are terrible, by the way. DFP, obviously, that's just how much your damage is reduced. There's an interesting thing about defense in this game, which is that, like, at the high-level metas, it's actually... The sweet spot for defense is actually kind of low often. Because if you take a hit that deals, I think, 25% or more of your HP, if I recall correctly, you get knocked over and you get invincibility frames for a minute. But if the attack doesn't do that much damage, you get no iframes. So if you're being just swarmed by stuff and your defense is high enough that you're taking like a fifth of your HP of damage at most, or, you know, maybe even less, you can just get the absolute crap slapped out of you and get comboed to death very easily. It is kind of strange. And so I chose the character who has the highest defense cap in the entire game, so that's a real smart move. I'm pretty sure this character / character class, if you will, is kind of the one that is the least beloved out of any of them, or least widely played. Don't consider me an expert on that one, though, because I don't know any of that for sure. Third down, MST is mental strength. That is our magic stat, our int stat, if you will. And we have none, because as a robot, we cannot use magic. I'll explain a little bit more about some of the special unique traits that we have for being an android in a bit. ATA is attack accuracy. That is going to be one of our better stats, because we are a ranger class, and guns are all based on accuracy for whatever reason. Obviously, you understand how that works. That's for how well or not we can hit the enemy, and it's a great thing that we have a lot of it, because we will want a lot of it. Hey, Iron Fury, how is it going? Our EVP is... Oh, jeez, I think the stat is literally called evasion power, which is fucking ridiculous. It is something that scales shockingly poorly. So that's going to end up probably being a dump stat most of the time, even more than our defense. And the last one, of course, is luck, and that has to deal with how well you deal critical hits. I think it also increases how many critical hits you take if you boost it. And the stat doesn't change with your level. You have to get luck materials to boost that. So maybe we'll see that through sometime in this playthrough. Probably not, knowing my luck. Unsurprisingly, it has nothing to do with drop rates or anything like that, which are typical of an MMORPG, because this is an MMORPG, or was, I suppose. It's now technically just more of an ORPG that we're playing offline, because why not? Oh, also, speaking of internet, I should point out that internet time thing at the bottom with the @656. That's a little bit of a strange thing, but this game used a system based on a unit of time called a beat, which is basically just literally 1,000th of a day. And this is a thing that it's not like some sort of official unit that is used by like real people. You know, most people use the regular hours, hours, minutes, seconds, and everything. It's not some sort of scientific thing as you might think from, oh, it's divided into thousandths. It is a gimmick that was created by a watch company. And for some reason, this is a thing that was used in this game, probably just for the sake of, oh, it's got a futuristic vibe to it. And I suppose it does. We don't care about this whatsoever, because there are a few things in this game that do care about the beat timer. I believe they are the weapons Heaven Punisher and Galatine. I don't remember if that last one is in this game, in this version of the game or not. But either way, we can't get those right now. So, not unless we are in Ultimate and not with the section ID, which is the thing that I haven't talked about. That's what the whitetail and the little weird white icon are. These are a stat point. Stat point? Is that really how I want to describe it? The section ID is a character attribute that is determined by the character's name entirely in this version of the game. Later ones would alter the calculation based on the character class, but it would still come down to a mathematical formula. And they determine what items get dropped for us and how often. So with the whitetail type, we are going to be obtaining slicer weapons, which are basically like throwing swords that can affect a large group of enemies more often, and we will be getting shotguns less often, which is... I still found one in my main playthrough with really good stats, so that's kind of funny how that works out. And over here we have our resistances. Top to bottom, these are resistances to fire, ice, thunder, dark, and light. Unsurprisingly, we have no thunder resistance, being that we're a robot. Anything else to report in here? Oh, I'll explain the damage freeze and confusion traps in a moment. Equipment. This would be a good idea. So we'll take a look at our weapons in a second. I'll show off the shield because it's pretty simple. The shield just modifies your stats the same way that you would expect it to. Usually they just increase your defense and evasion, oddly enough. And look at the amount of evasion this one gives us. 94. Or, no, 86, pardon me. I had that backwards. 86. And it still counts to almost nothing, really. But more importantly, this flame barrier gives us a 30 extra points of fire resistance, which is neat. The third tab is just a description. So over here, we're going to take a look at our armor. And you'll notice that if we unequip it, it takes away some of our attack points, and I'll explain that in a second. And the reason for that is literally right here. Well, first you can see that it raises our ice and dark defense a tiny amount. But it also has a thing in here that says slot 3. We have 3 slots for add-ons in here, and all of them are taken up by attack boosting things in this. Which, unsurprising, I just went for the high aggro build for this character because I know a little bit of meta shit about this game. And also, again, we're in a character that kind of lags behind offense-wise. Alright, so we've picked up a couple of these reinforcement units that go into our slots. We've got 2 that give us 8 and 1 that give us 7 attack power. We could probably have better at this point, but I don't know for sure. And I'll go through weapon stuff in a second. Yeah, Zelda 1 playable Agumon. I don't remember much about that one, but I seem to remember you mentioning the Zelda 2 Garfield. That definitely sounds like something that I would have heard about from you at some point. So let's take a look at our weaponry that we're carrying here. We've got 4 weapons right now. We're going to probably be collecting a reasonable amount of things just to check out in this playthrough. We've got this lock gun +5 with the dim ability on it. Have I watched the Wrestling Empire series yet? I need to get around to that. I should definitely, but I have seen some of the absolute ridiculous things that can happen in Wrestling Empire, and it's an M. Dickey game, so I'm decently aware of how crazy those get in the first place. Alright, so I'll show off the very basics of this, because to test weapons, we're going to want to go into the field. We can't exactly run around town with any of this stuff. We're too good-natured for that, I suppose. And as you can see, the vast majority of them are just going to increase our attack and accuracy. And you can see the Riot Buster here, which Riot is a confusion-inflicting ability. Dim is an instant kill ability. Very low chance of it being able to activate from its special attack, though. You can see the stats on this thing are better, which is pretty absurd somewhat, but I mean, they're the same level of sword, and of course, range characters. They gotta make them seem a little bit less impressive or something to balance out everything. Honestly, the balance in this is kind of crusty when you get into the higher levels of stuff. Like, early on, it's fine. But later in the game, and if you go onto online servers, you find like everybody is playing as Hucasts because they are just damage machines, and the Dark Flow, which is a weapon that was only available through going online, and I'm pretty sure only as of Blue Burst, is just disgustingly broken. And like, why would you create it? Anyway. Then down here we got ourselves a halberd, or as it says, a halbert. And this is, as you might expect, a bit of a thing for dealing with groups. Our polearm here for up in the close ranges. And then we've got ourselves a shotgun. And you will see the accuracy on this thing is massive. Like, compared to anything else, this is 30 points higher than our second most accurate weapon. And the reason for that is over here on the second tab. This is a thing I haven't really gotten around to explaining. So these first 4 things here, native, A-Beast, Machine, and Dark, and yes, A-Beast does stand for Altered Beast, and no, none of them wise from their gwaves. But yes, Sega did love to reference their other games in the PSO series. So these percentages give you an increase to your damage based on what type of enemy you're fighting. So we don't get any buffs for the shotgun, but it has 40% hit. And hit percentage is something that is very rare and incredibly sought after. For every point of hit percent you get, by the way, these percents are normally only distributed in blocks of 5. unless you're getting something from some sort of online event or a hacked weapon. But, excuse me, so we just get a flat plus 40 accuracy with this thing, and considering the spread on the scaling on accuracy, that is massive. That is kind of ludicrous, really. So now that I've explained some extremely basic things, we're going to go in and we're going to go talk to the principal here, which I'm sure that's a word choice, Mr. Skinner. And we're going to go and catch up on some plot, because we should probably be getting the plot that we started off, we're supposed to have started off with, really. We have a bad situation and we need to act quickly. Well, this might be a little rough. Did I hear about the explosion on Wriggle? We saw that in the cutscene, but that was in a video that's on my gameplay channel, so, Alright, what's up, dude? Lost contact with Pioneer 1, have no idea what happened. Well, you heard about the explosion. Communication seems to cut off near the surface. Well, it sounds like there's some bad news. Probably everybody's dead. Maybe we should go somewhere else. The people on board alive? Probably not, dude, but okay. Manned search team, well, alright. Skilled Ranger. I did first play this game in like 2003, so I've been playing it for a very large portion of my life. Alright, what's your special mission you want to tell us about? Textured base, man. Nothing? Okay. We'll ask your assistant over here. What's the deal? Surface, check the status of the residential area. And the status of the central dome. Transporter was launched earlier. Go down directly from the city. Well, I hope that there's like a lock on that for regular people so that way nobody just wanders onto the surface. Okay, yeah, the tails seem to be coming from his direction and now they're back here, but they seem a little bit reticent to tell me about this other part of the mission. Oh, you caught sight of the explosion? Did you see the weird, mostly invisible thing that was also in the cutscene? Or did you miss that? Planet was tearing itself apart. You couldn't... Wow, that's pretty wild. And Wriggle with unmanned search units. Huge interstellar transport ship. And that's us. Yeah. Yeah, I guess we did. So basically, the home planet of these people was being obliterated for whatever reason. And Pioneer 1 is the ship with all the scientists and the smart people and anyone who knows how to set up the basics of colonizing a planet. They went down, found the planet was suitable, and then as soon as we got close, everything went to shit. So we did it. Congratulations, us. Alright, hey you, what do you got to say? What do you want me to tell you? I don't know anything either. I mean, technically I do because time loop, but... What's the deal? Red Ring Rico was on board Pioneer 1. Great scientist. Jeez, where does she find the time? So that's, Rico is the principal's daughter, and they take a while to really tell you that. But yeah, that's why he's so concerned about this and is just really ashamed to admit it because, well... Alright, do you have anything to say? We're in the shopping district. Oh, I've had quite an encounter with them already in the previous iteration of this, but... I digress. Each techer has its own specialty. I don't know if that's really true, but... So these dudes are basically used to identify unknown items, and we don't have any of those to worry about. They charge us a tiny fee every time, and the stats that we have on our unidentified items are partially randomized. I'll be able to show this off better when we actually start, like, fighting stuff. For now, we're going to browse the shops and see if any of them have anything of interest here. Alright, so we can't equip these blades, which is unfortunate. The dagger-type weapons are pretty good for their multi-hit ability. So, oh well, what can you do? Here's a slicer. We could purchase this just to show it off, but we'll get a drop of one, I'm sure. The auto gun, this is the previous tier of the handgun that we already have. But it has 25% hit. This is a nice find from the shop, all considered. Their abilities, shop items tend to have low-level abilities, but they can be okay stat-wise for whatever point you're purchasing them at. We're kind of at a point in the game, though, where we're not really going to be buying equipment from the shop as a general rule. The sniper, this has the heart ability, which steals TP, which is pointless for us because we can't have any mana whatsoever, and we can't cast magic. So this would just be a generic +3 sniper rifle. Remember when games didn't have inventory space problems? Oh no, nobody remembers that. This game has a unique inventory thing of its own, and by unique I mean not really unique at all. You have only 30 slots, and boy, you will fill those up very quickly if you just pick up everything and be like, I'm gonna sell this. Alright, the mech gun. This is, as you might expect, mech gun is short for machine gun. These are pretty good for dealing damage, but they have just absolutely garbage accuracy. They fire off 3 attacks per unit of your little 3-attack combo, which again, I'll demo that a little better in a moment. And so, again, good way to hurt things if you have good accuracy on them, but obviously these are nothing to write home about, and the assault is the next level higher. And down here we have all the mage weapons. We can ignore that these exist, because we can't equip a damn single one of them. Alright, item shop. Oh boy, you've got all 3 levels of tech point restoration here. Useless for us. Alright, oh, this is where I can actually explain some neat stuff. So, antidote and anti-paralysis are grayed out here, because being a robot, we cannot be paralyzed or poisoned. We can still be affected by the short-run volatile status effects, like slow, confusion, attack or defense down, freeze, or most notably shock. We can be affected by the stun status that just wears off over time, and that really sucks because one of the bosses just abuses the hell out of that. So that's gonna be rough. And we cannot use a trap vision whatsoever. It even has a little red X on it, because we just have that built in as a robot. We can just see where landmines and stuff are. And we don't really care too much about what spells are available here. But wow, level 10. That's pretty decent from the shop, actually. Our monomates and dimates are going to be our major sources of healing, because, of course, we can't use healing magic. Do you have anything over here in the armor shop whatsoever? Well, you got some decently hot... Oh shit. This dude has a 3-slot armor for level 39. I might have to go grab some cash and pick that up. But otherwise, nothing really to write home about. This is similar to what we have, but worse. The shields are usually just kind of shit, so don't mind that. The units don't really go very high level. As you can see here, these are all like basic level stuff, and they're not even ones that we're super concerned about, so meh. Yeah, let's go pick up that piece of armor and we'll put it in our deposit box. And you can see that this uniform is absolutely ridiculous looking. I think it was only less than 21k. For that. Yeah, we can't equip that right now. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. I do not mind whatsoever. Deposit that, and, alright, take item. So I can just show off a little bit that we've got some stuff in here. Scape dolls. These are our auto-revive items. I've managed to accrue a decent amount of these, but they're kind of a pain because they're super rare drops most of the time, and they each take up a whole slot in your inventory. We're going to be saving these pretty much just for the last boss. And then over here we've got grinders. These raise that plus number on your weapons. And again, they're rare drops, so I've been stockpiling them. Also, we have the amplifier of Foy and Rafoy here. I'm just saving those. Again, they're useless to us because they're concerned with magic. They are parts of pieces of equipment that give a 20%, I believe, bonus to the damage for those two spells. But, meh. Not super important at the moment. But let's continue getting a little bit of dialogue in the rest of town. And see if anybody else knows anything else of interest here. Just walking out a robot battle. That is basically us, yeah. Hi, Fire Drake. How's it going? News spread very quickly among the citizen levels. Family Empire. You don't say. I would be too. I would just assume the worst, really, but that was a pretty big explosion. Always wars. Oh, everybody is really hoping that Rico isn't dead. Well, fair enough. So here's the medical bay. 10 Meseta heals us to full for free, which is nice, but obviously we can't use this in the field. We have to go in and out for that. Never mind how you know. Do you have anything else useful to say, or do you just describe that I'm completely fine? Yeah. Old woman here. And yeah, for some reason they've got these names for the classes of Hunter, Ranger, and Force, and then they have an overarching term for them just called Hunters. In later games, they would call them Guardians, or various other terms, which makes more sense. In fact, I don't know what these folks are necessarily hunting prior to this point. So, yeah. And that is our place where we pick up our side quests. So obviously we're going to be spending a lot of time inside of that office. What do these two military men have to say? Well, where's the rest of it then? Like, isn't this supposed to be the ship that the rest of the people are on? Or is there a third ship that's supposed to be coming? Oh, yes, this is definitely restricted. Anybody can come walk into this garage and take this teleporter and go down to the service. Yeah, there's been Konami has finally gotten around to like unbanning a lot of old cards, which is nice, and playing with that in general. Alright, so let's talk to the lady at the counter here. What have you got for us? We can't really do anything with the download quest option because I don't have any of those on my memory card anymore. I should have saved the one online quest that I did have saved, but I did not do that. Instead, I just bombed my entire memory card of data for this just to make absolutely sure. And we got 3 quests available. We're going to start from the top, and we're going to do all the side quests before we go through the area the regular way and complete it. And we're going to try and show off basically as much of the game as is possible in a single run here. And let's go ahead and start. So we're looking for somebody on Wriggle who has had apparently a terrible accident thanks to a guy named Zid. And we get a different loading screen. Boy, they've at least got quite a bit of variety. There was a rumor for a time that on that loading screen, if you press the A button, you can cycle through the colors of those particle effects. There was a rumor for quite a while that was that if you did something on that screen, it could alter what section ID a quest was operating under. That is obviously not true. That does not work. It's just there for fun. Be right back in just a second here. Yeah, I don't think that the time seal loop is something that they need to worry about so much in Yu-Gi-Oh! Really, I think that that's not going to be as strong anymore, never mind if it's, like, as doable. But yeah. Alright, so we gotta go and rescue this Ash kid, right? Supposed to be done, but he hadn't returned yet. He probably got his ass kicked, so I can do that. Oh, wow, you think this is a serious enough job to send out a second dude, too. Alright, well, I guess later will technically be once we bring over this fella. Level 61 on you, buddy. Kurik. This guy, we're probably going to be seeing quite a bit of him in some of the side content if I don't screw that up. But yeah, Kurik is a HuCast. HuCasts are the male android hunters. They are all about that physical damage. He's a pro. Perhaps you can learn a lot from him. This is sort of the fighting tutorial quest. So we're going to get a little bit of... I am going to show that off, even though I could probably just explain it all to you very easily, but whatever. I actually just for the first time learned about some of the dialogue in it, so... yeah. Let's get the data disk. Others to help Ash return here if he is injured. Well, I gotcha. Ah, yes, he's a cousin of a very generic-looking NPC. Alright, so these are just going to be the same NPCs. There are often, like, other NPCs who have special dialogue, but everybody here is looking the same. These folks don't despawn for these quests. But we're going to try to pick up any of the special dialogue if we can. Again, just try and show off as much of this game as is possible in a singular run here. Oh, I see that he's using a scythe. Yeah, actually, Kurik here is using a type of partisan weapon. This is the Soul Eater. There's a quest that you can use to get this thing pretty easily. And by pretty easily, I mean it's the only way to get it. But I screwed it up, and you if you screw it up on your save on any given difficulty level, you can't do it. So that's why we're not starting with that here. It's just a stick. We can't use that. So let me just show off our weapons real quick. You've seen the handgun already. It's tiny. It's got a little purple glowy thing. The colors of the glowy bits on the ordinary weapons, like on this Buster, will show you what level it is. So the purple one's the third stage. The blue is the second. The first stage has like a green glow to it, which I think we can kind of see on the attachment there. And then there's red for stage 4 and gold for stage 5. I don't know if we'll see any of the stage 5 here, but we'll definitely find some of the red stuff at some point. Alright, here they come. And by that, he means once we go through this barrier, enemies can only attack you inside the same room, which means that, yes, you can kind of cheese a lot of encounters by just sort of hanging at the door, land a hit, back up. If you stay back for long enough, they will retreat. Also, you can see that our shotgun is incredibly slow firing, but it does damage to a large group of enemies. So that's pretty nice. However, I think the pistol is going to be our main way of hurting things for quite a while here. Especially in like a quest like this, where we're just getting tiny packs of dudes. Also, yes, once we kill a monster, especially in this area, they just sort of flop on the ground and their corpse melts into a puddle of blood. It's quite nasty. And I realized some years later that those orange sparks coming off of things we shoot, they are bleeding copiously. It's just a telepipe. The telepipe is what we use to create a warp back to town, which I'll demo what that looks like right now. And it makes that humming noise whenever it's nearby. We can take that and go back to the city. But if we take one that is located in the city, it disappears on both ends afterwards. We'll get a better demonstration of that at the end of the quest, because you usually get one that pops for free to take you back to the city after having gone through a lengthy trek through a dungeon. And those weapons are unimpressive. The brand is the level 2 saber. Well, don't ask me just yet until we push it. Yeah, see, the door opens. Thanks, dude. I couldn't tell by the fact that it's literally right next to the door. We barely had to do that fight, did we? Alright, so we got a Monest and Mothmans here. These are a good way to farm experience, because this thing will just sort of poop these out pretty slowly, and if you get the right weapons, you can have a special attack on your weapons that lets you gain extra experience just from hitting things. However, special attack accuracy is garbo. I should probably explain that a little better. So, here's me attempting to use this on... You can see the damage from the special attack, which has a different animation. The damage is low, the accuracy is not great either. Like, we're doing our heavy attack with a lot of things, and we're still getting guaranteed hits. Meanwhile, the special attack accuracy is just... There are things we can do to assist with that. But for now, we don't really need to worry about that too much. Because mostly they're just there for... Ooh, power material. Hell yeah. I'll take that. Mostly they're just there for, like, decorative purposes, basically. And that... stat materials permanently raise your base stat by 2 points. So that gave us 2 extra points of attack power. Hard to complain. Hard to complain. This Sol Atomizer, by the way, can remove any of the any of the volatile stats from. And I think, yeah, I can remove poison and paralysis too, but we don't have to worry about that. We're a robot. We can't be stunned. I should probably give a little bit of an explanation about the controls. The C stick doesn't really do anything, nor does the D-pad. Well, they select stuff in menus, but on the field, not so much. So the left stick is moving us around. You can see that the camera only barely moves. We can hit the L button to recenter the camera behind us, and that's about it. The R button is, you can see that lets us switch between two action palettes here. So our action palette is set out in a nice way that sort of mirrors the overall look of the GameCube controller. I'll pick these up so that way I can show off the Assault real quick. And you can see that grayed out our button all the way on the left there because these have no special attack whatsoever. That is our special attack action icon. And basically, yeah, all this stuff is laid out like on the GameCube controller. So the action icon on the far left is controlled by the B button. And the middle one is the A button. And the far right one is the X button. And then there's the one that's the top left corner there. That is our chat button in case we wanted to type something into here, which we kind of don't want to. Boy, would I love to have that keyboard controller. Yes, I have seen that before. However, if we hold R to switch over to the other palette, we can access parts of our inventory. So we can hit R to toggle between them. We've got our weapons on one page, we've got our use items on another, and we've got our techniques or traps. In this case, we have traps because we are a robot, and we don't have magic. We press that thing to open that. Let me, I'll try laying down a couple of these traps in an area to show off a little bit of how they function. But I tend not to use them very much, and he's trying to explain to us about elements, which is not really going to be a major concern of ours. Elemental weapons tend to do suck damage, and since it's all based on the special attack, and our only real elemental damage source at this point is our damage traps, which are in the middle of our second palette here. And they do fire damage. You know what? Kurik, you can deal with these, with the bugs. And yeah, if we shoot our own traps, they go off harmlessly. Oh, interesting. That spinner is a second level version of the slicer, so I can show off how this thing attacks. And we can pick up a grinder. Nice. That is very nice. And yeah, this would function a little better if we were in a group of more enemies. The slicers target 4 enemies at most at a time. Darkling's palette was found in Zelda 2. I didn't know you guys didn't know where this was. Alright, so this bit of dialogue, obviously none of this changes anything. I'm just going to say yes, that it's difficult for me to hit things. Because here, Kurik is going to teach us something very useful. And he'll do it better than I can. Alright. Teach you some of the basics. Stop and listen to me. First of all, there are three different types of attacks. Attack is a fast striking move, but it's not very powerful. A charged heavy attack is more powerful, but it can easily be dodged. Extra attack generates a special power from your weapon. Do up to 3 combo attacks if you attack rapidly. Yeah, I've been trying to show off that a little bit. I hope it's been a little visible when dealing with this dude clipping through me. And yeah, here's the basic trick is that if you want to be more likely to hit things, use your less accurate attacks at the end of your combos. That is not a huge concern for us when it comes to our regular attacks, but for special attacks, that might be pretty helpful. And we're just going to drop that because that's not useful. Alright, clear out these crates. I'm not going to pick up everything and sell all of it, because that would just be kind of tedious. But we'll... You know, that's more of what I did when I was doing the solo stuff. Now, of course, this weapon is not a good one to test out what Kirik is trying to lay down for us, because its accuracy is gross. So we'll go with the machine guns here, because these things typically can't hit the broadside of a barn. But that combo damage is pretty good. The like 120 for the regular attack is probably better than our standard saber can do right now. Which, why not try that out, right? No, I can do the heavy attack. We can do good damage with the heavy attack, but that's about it. Two bands, 7 limits. Jesus, they just absolutely obliterated that deck. Yeah, see, he teaches us the basics of combos now. We know how to fight, kind of. I'll pick up the spinner, because I might use slicers a little bit in this playthrough. I am not 100% sure yet. Yeah, about that, buddy. I envy those who can. Yeah, me too, dude. I would have loved to be able to heal and buff my stats, but I chose this character instead. Alright, you can see these goofy-looking penguin dudes are not melting into the ground, and that's because they're going to get up and try to run away in a moment. Or we can force the issue by running away from where they're hanging out. If you hit them before they run away, it is a free guaranteed item, but you can see I screwed that up because I was way off. The auto-aim in this game can be a little bit not the most helpful in the world. And yeah, here's the thing that we don't really have to worry about too much, but it is there, that the cursor color on your little targeting reticle will help you get an idea as to what attacks can hit them from where. So, like, if we had a technique on our B button or something, and we were approaching an enemy from an odd angle that they could really only be hit by a spell like that, the reticle would turn red. And that would be pretty dang useful as a piece of information. However, we don't really have to worry about that too much. Yeah, I just finished explaining that, sir, but thank you nonetheless. Oh, hey, an unknown item. It's not going to be worth a ton once we identify it, but it'll be to show off the mechanics of Techers a little bit. For those limits were Shizu cards. Yeah, I remember that was an incredibly popular set, but I wasn't paying a great amount of attention to what was in there because I wasn't really in a position of picking up any cards or anything, so yeah. 29, aren't there only 28 unknowns? Still hiding around here, huh? Excuse me. Alright, so yeah, be careful. Let's take this thing out because we're probably about to get surrounded. After we pick up the data disk, yep. These wolves spawn in. And yeah, you can see that the AI is not always the greatest at, like, putting the 3-hit combo thing to use. So... nice. Alright, well, we managed to rescue Ash here. I mean, dude, you got your ass laid out by a bunch of dogs, so listen. At the very least, we got your data disk for you, Chief. Quit being such a scrub. Let's just make sure he's got nothing else to say. Alright, and Kirik has left our party, but he's got stuff to talk to. We can talk to him. Trained myself, become much stronger to impress him. Alright, dude, I'm sure we will never see you and never potentially have to shoot you in the face ever again. While we're here, I'll show off one other thing. Another benefit of being an android is that our HP regenerates slowly over time if we stand still. See, once we start moving, you're going to see that it stops going up. This is useful as, like... you know, once you just get out of a fight, you can just go hang behind an open door and just wait a little bit to regenerate some of your HP. But I would not say that it obviates the need for healing items. Do not go charging into high-level areas with no gear. Don't be a complete idiot. Just most of one. Wait. Alright. So, we go over to the Techer with our unidentified piece of equipment. And we hand it over to him. We get a little fanfare. And he shows us the weapon with its special attack, so we can actually see what it does, and we can use that. And he shows us the modified stats. I think this thing had zeros to begin with, so this is good enough. But if we didn't trust him, we could re-roll, and that gives us a chance to increase any of its percentages by up to 10, or decrease them by up to 10, or increase the special attack type by... increase or decrease, rather, by up to 1 level, which can be quite useful for certain things, but we haven't really found any of those at this particular point in the game. We're not gonna... I don't think we're gonna use this. Yeah, those percentages are not really inspiring me too greatly here. Anything interesting in the shop? No, of course not. What am I talking about? How about you? I don't think these dudes can roll a chance at a 4-slot. Never mind! Yes, they can! Well, shit. I literally bought that armor earlier for nothing. A 4-slot armor, that is the most slots you can have in a piece of armor, and that is exactly what we are looking for in our lives here. Is something that can support the most units to give us the most extra stats. This one, right? Yes, yes, my stats no good enough. There we go. Alright. So we're gonna go turn in the quest before we deposit any of our stuff again, because, you know, just to simplify things a little bit. Also, yes, one more point about gear. Actually, 2, I suppose. 1, I'll talk about what this thing is in a couple of quests, because it'll come up then, and that will streamline the experience a little bit, which I know I'm all about streamlining. I'm so good at it. But, yeah. And lastly, weapon stats. This page is the only thing that gets randomized. Other than the special attack, I suppose. But the basic ATP and ATA of a weapon do not change whatsoever. They are fixed values, except that the plus marks on a weapon, which are added by using grinders, will increase its ATP by 2 points per plus mark on a weapon, which in the grand scheme is not like a ton of damage gained or anything like that, but whatever. We'll see that a little better later on. We gotta talk to this guy in order to finish off the quest. Oh, he seems pretty tough. But I'm pretty sure that if for some reason I had to shoot him in the face, I'd be fine. Ash, it's 10 Meseta, you cheap asshole. Come on. He said he'll keep practicing, though, so at least he's got that going for him. Alright, we got our 500 bucks. And that's great, because that's not going to be used for too much. But it will be used for something, don't worry. I guess. Alright, let's do claiming a stake. Find and bring back a greedy landlord. Do we have to? Unfortunately, in order to see the rest of the quest, yes we do. Father Rakton has gone to claim land on Regal. Find him. What a fool. He's out there just as soon as we get anywhere near. Did he not hear about the explosion? Oh yeah, I didn't really get a good chance to show off the color rotation on that thing. I'll have to stake out land. Yeah, are you sure that... Are you sure that would go over well, dude? Alright, well, we gotta go rescue this idiot. Oh, hey, we got some new NPCs here. What do you got, Chief? You know, sometimes children are way better than their parents, you know? The idea of him getting hurt amuses me. Hey, kid, what do you got? That's it? That's it. Alright. Now, back we go. Time to go and get horribly lost downstairs in the forest. And excuse me. And excuse me again. Ah, yes, we had our big pointy stick out here. Anything useful here? Probably not. Probably nothing of note. But if I can find an upgrade for this halberd, that would be nice. I don't think they spawn this early in the game. That was slightly embarrassing. We missed a point blank hit on. we got hit by a rappy. That's pretty sad. That's some scrub shit. They're cute and not much else. And yeah, I'm picking up a lot of the green items just because of like slot efficiency. I probably don't need to pick up the trap visions, because they're not worth that much money, but still. My combo rhythm just absolutely fell apart there. Good job, me. Hey, nice. A die grinder, so that's worth 2 points of boost to any of our weapons. We're saving those in case we get something that is just that good. Because, honestly, most of your gear is super disposable because, obviously, you got to keep upgrading it through getting better drops. To such a point that we're mostly just looking for rare weapons to be things that we upgrade with. Also, yeah, of course we didn't land the one-hit kill move. I have no reason to really have bothered with that, but there we go. I'll drop that in a second. And that's what it looks like when you land the one-hit kill. That time we actually did it. Wow. That is entirely based on accuracy. And luck. And it's not... Obviously, it's not a super effective way of dealing with threats, but there are certain enemies we will want that for as a droid, just because it's going to simplify things a little bit. Even just having the shitty Tier 1 version of the Instant Death special. If we can pick up a higher level, I think the naming on those goes Dim, Shadow, Dark, Hell. If we can find something with Hell attached to its name for its special move, that will be pretty nice. But I don't think it's going to happen, because unsurprisingly, high-level special moves on weapons are pretty damn rare. Especially in the GameCube version. I think it was tweaked a little bit for Blue Burst, which is the later PC version. And I don't really know offhand what it's like in any of the earlier versions of this game. I have a copy of this game on the Dreamcast. I think my Dreamcast version is version 1, but I could be wrong about that. And so the drop rates might be different in that. Version 2 also exists, and that was what the original PC port of PSO was. Was basically a copy of version 2. Aside from being on the PC, obviously. And mostly, if I recall correctly, I don't remember everything between the different versions, aside from they added some new content to a couple of them, and I forget if V2 features the spread needle nerf, or if that is the V3, which is GameCube, Xbox, and everything past that is based off of that. But yeah, the spread needle weapon, which is still quite widely used in more modern versions of PSO, used to be considerably more game-breaking and just a disgustingly powerful crowd control weapon in the earliest versions of the game, to the point that, like, I think it was banned online from usage in certain modes. Because they were like, okay, yeah, that's a little too much. I just wanted to check my experience. About 2,800 to the next level. Because this time, we actually have a level-based goal. In case you haven't noticed, I guess I didn't explain this, but yeah. Armor and shields are based on level in terms of when you can use them. Meanwhile, all of these other weapons, they require you to have certain base stats. Which, we're going to be fine on accuracy and attack power for, like, any of them, I'm pretty sure. Also, yeah, that evade material is going to get sold, because I'm not going to use evade materials. Evasion scaling in this game is terrible, as I've said already, so yeah. That ain't going to happen. I see the guy over there, but I really don't want to talk to him. So I'm going this way. May as well clean up everything else on the map first. Not allowed to blow that guy's head off. Oh no, if I did that, I'd fail the quest. He's a landlord. Doesn't even count, really. Oh, oops. That's why you don't want to do that too soon, because you can get locked into an animation, and someone can sneak up on you and try to beat the crap out of you. Speaking of animations, yes, the attack animation, in case I haven't said that, is disgustingly slow on the shotgun. Usually the AoE weapons have very slow attack animations in order to make up for the fact that they output huge amounts of damage. This is definitely a game that is not really concerned very often with putting you 1v1 against large enemies. Outside of bosses. I mean, obviously that's a thing, but outside of those, and even those tend to have multiple targets on them, so area of effect weapons tend to be very strong. Or multi-target weapons anyway, I suppose, is more accurate. It's not truly area of effect, although I guess on some level. Alright, you. Yeah, well, I mean, maybe we shouldn't have killed them then. Alright, what do you want? I don't want to fail this quest. The 3 capsules on prime land locations. What, just pills? Go and recall all of them. Okay, I guess he means there's some sort of more technological thing, although recall seems like a weird word choice, to put it nicely. Well, one of the upsides then of clearing out the entire map of the area here, which we have, I mean, there's only the one doorway that we haven't opened, is that we should be able to get all of these without being interrupted. Oh, God, excuse the yawn. Jesus. Oh, hey, there's still a monster here. Full HP, too. I thought it would at least be weakened. But no. Is there somewhere else we can shoot in here? Oh, yeah, there's a couple of crates. Get that little bit of extra money. Oh, yeah, the quest board. We can look at information in here. We can take a look at these things that we've picked up. And you can see that these have, like, no real useful information. I thought they had something in them, but I guess I was wrong about that. And I think the last one is, like, right by the entrance. Which, dude, why couldn't you make this easy? I mean, yeah. And by easy, I mean give me the, like, 12 extra seconds of my life back. But, you know, landlord and everything. Wow, you can see we really missed a bunch of these crates, huh? Alright, dude. You're in the color of the last player slot, I think, so that's what you deserve. At least he had the decency to use his own telepipe instead of making us use ours. So, hey. Cool. Dick. Oh, there's me going into a slightly spoilery window. We'll check that out later, don't worry. Alright, let's go here and sell things. We don't need the evade material, dye fluid, antidotes, dye grinders, those are going away, trap vision. Moon atomizers, these are not useful to us because they just revive nearby allies, and that's never gonna come up. It doesn't work on allied party members, I don't think. For NPCs, rather. With that done, do these people have anything new to say? Key for him, but not really for us, yeah. Sounds about right. Fuck that guy. I completely agree. You don't say. Are we gonna have to rescue him again later? Gee, I hope not. Oh, yeah, that's a real smart idea, bud. Break his legs. Hooray, we got a little bit of money. Alright, so if you press the A button, you change the color of these particles. Like I said, it's just something to help you pass the time while you wait for this loading screen to take forever. Imagine a case of something where the loading screen has a loading screen. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's what Sonic 06 was. Alright, now let's take on our third quest here. Magnitude of metal. Valuable commodity on Wriggle was lost, huh? Items that were stolen on a trip back from Wriggle. Alright, what do you got for us, dude? Oh, yeah? Said an android took them. I have a feeling that there's some really messy shit going on here. But, you know, wow, Sleazeball Traders is our first quest, guys. You're just mags, you say, huh? The mags can be found on the ground. Yes, we actually had an extra one in our bank. Like some for him. Say to... Detectors invented by... Yeah, you usually find those in the mines, and we're not going there, so... I don't know what the deal is with that, but, okay, bud. You're a new NPC, right? Belongs to a suspicious traders group. Yeah, I mean, that sounds not entirely wrong, dude. Alright. Yet another time in this field. By the way, get used to these maps because you're going to be seeing them for quite a while. And they are not all the same, but there's only a very few variations for a couple of them. And you will really start to notice after a while just how similar a lot of these areas are. And that a lot of it is just about, like, rotating what rooms you go through, in what order, and where you start. Although there's really not much you can do with the forest map, especially not the first floor of it. We haven't been to the second one yet, obviously. Go ahead and heal and pick that up. Wow, that one really didn't want to get hit, huh? Where's our next enemies? There we go. Oh. Also, yeah, when you see those, like, two ring effects pop off of an enemy, those Saturn ring thing explosions that have become so popular lately, to quote Strong Bad, that is an indicator that you've landed a critical hit. Again, all RNG. Pure luck. 2-star, that might actually be worth a little bit of cash once we tech it. It's all junk. They really are leaning on the fact that in online mode and in multiplayer mode, for that matter, I think you can enter hard difficulty at level 20, because we're finding a lot of just, like, junk level 16 armor, and it's kind of funny to me because it's like, wow, this is mortifyingly useless. We didn't get anything this week in the last dungeon of normal mode. Also, yeah, I've just noticed the footsteps sound a little bit. I forgot that it was as loud as it is. But yeah, if you're the Rawcast, which is the big male android, which kind of looks like a Gundam, your stomping is significantly louder. I might just throw one together just to demo that at one point. Seen a mag around here? No, I haven't. I gotta tell her that I'm looking for it, I see. Oh, hey, wow, we're like twins. That's messed up. Eleanor Commutal, an android. Yeah, we already we could tell that. Wow, two partners so far. They've both been androids. Interesting. But yeah, not much going on with this quest so far, I guess. Well, okay. There is in that. Hey, yeah, this traitor guy is kind of a scumbag, but we already knew that. Oh, I mean they did whatever they... Yeah. Recognizes him or her as the master. This was the early 2000s. They didn't know what other pronouns were. Excuse me. God, I hope that didn't pick up too loudly. It probably did, now that I mentioned it. Some can do a lot of photon damage. Yeah, so I suppose I should explain that, but I'm going to explain everything in one block, and there's more tutorial parts of this in a moment. So I can cover all of that, like, at the same time. Oh, that's worth a pretty good chunk of change, especially if we can find more of those to stock up that slot nicely. I'm sure we won't, though. And yep, there's another one of those furry yellow penguins. These incredibly silly creatures. Turn. There we go. Yeah, your rotation gets locked way hard if you... from an attack animation. I mean, just the movement in general, but it feels like the rotation is a little bit stiff. We can just sit here and wait. See if this thing feels like thinking that we have left. You can look at its horrible dead eye. Bonk. Hey, 85 Masada. That was not worth the trouble. Not worth the time. Oh well. Sniper, no, we'll get blasters later, so I'll be able to show off that attack weapon model and the attack animation and everything. The mag is hungry. Huh? It's alive, it needs something to eat. And yeah, so here she's going to give us a brief tutorial about mag feeding. And this is where I come in with a tutorial as we go over to the mag menu and we take a look at our mag. Our mag is a special model. You can tell from its gold name that it is a rare one. The Ruckman. This is obtained from having a very specific spread of stats. Mags evolve at certain of their levels, which are not tied to yours. As you can see, this thing is level 127. It gains levels as you give it items, and these affect its stats. Depending on its stats, it will change form at certain points. Naturally, a mag evolves at level 10, at level 35, and at level 50. However, they can also re-evolve after the level 50 point if their stat balance changes. And there are special evolutions that can happen at level 100 if you have the right stat balance, and we pushed for that very specifically, as you can probably guess by the fact that defense is 5 and dexterity is 45. That was intentional because those are very round. So, I'll talk about giving items in a second. Let's take a moment to understand these stats and everything. 1 second here. That's better. So, mags can go up to level 200. And the synchro percent is based on how much your mag likes you, I guess, or something. Or just how in sync you are. It can go up and down depending on what items you give it. But more importantly, it will go down by 5% every time you die, and it caps out at 120%. This is one of the very few reasons to feed a mag after its max level. So, yeah. IQ is a stat that is only affected by the items you give it. I believe that Synchro affects how fast you gain energy for your photon blast meter, which is that thing in the corner that says 24 and is partially yellow. And then IQ, I think, is how strong those photon blasts are. You can tell that I haven't really been too concerned about that. But part of that is because the food that I've been giving it is something that is very cheap and designed specifically for raising the stats. Don't worry, Eleanor, I'm just explaining these things to the audience. Defense. Every mag starts with 5 defense and 0 in its other stats. Every point of defense increases your base DFP by 1. Every point of power increases your ATP by 2. Your base ATP for that matter, so it affects your ability to equip stuff. Every 2 points of dex, increase your base ATA by 1. As you can tell, the accuracy scales a little bit slowly. However, it goes up at the odd numbers, so this setup is fine. And every point of mind gives you +2 base MST, so of course we don't give a shit about that. So getting this mag, the Ruckman model is obtained for any female ranger if you have the right stat balance, which is dependent on your section ID. And the one that I have, and this was not calculated at all, this just happened by pure luck, is one that can evolve this form of mag when the defense plus the dexterity of the mag are equal to its power plus its mind, which is perfect for something like this. It is not uncommon to see people online gunning specifically for these types of mags with 5 defense and 45 dexterity and either 150 power or 150 mind. And there's a unique mag for every gender and base class type. So like male rangers have one, female rangers have this. Male forces and female forces each have their own, and male hunters and female hunters. Now, third tab. These are our photon blasts. Let's see if we can get a little bit of info about these. So a photon blast is basically like a limit break of sorts. Once that meter fills up, which is increased by dealing and taking damage, you can activate one of these and they replace your second pallet until you do. So we've got 2 attacking ones. We've got Estella, which deals damage in a straight line in front of us. We have Pila, which says aerial attack that hits nearby flying enemies. This is a bit of an incorrect translation, I would say, because it hits aerial enemies, but it also hits ground enemies too. And generally speaking, this is probably like the most widely used attack. Photon Blast. And lastly, Mila and Eula increases attack and defense status of a player. This is basically the equivalent of casting Shifta and D-Band, which are your attack and defense boosting spells. You may remember those from Phantasy Star Universe. And that's our only way that this class can do that, except as an effect that triggers from the mag, which I think the chance of special effects triggering once you hit certain status conditions are also affected by your synchro percent, but it might be IQ. I don't think it is, because my mag has been at 0 IQ for a bit. And I've had really good odds activating them, so... yeah. She doesn't know how she can talk to mags. That's alright. So I forgot to give it items. Let's go ahead and let's feed it. We're going to feed it 3 monomates. And the reason for that is that monomates are cheap, and they boost power. They also, like, reduce the other stat experience meters there. You can... it did sort of come across that those were, like, EXP meters for the stats, right? I didn't have to explain that part. Just in case. However, it also reduces IQ by 1 each time. But, of course, we're already at 0, so... we'll get that back later on once we max out the mag stats. Just to... damage to charge. Yeah, so that's a thing that we sort of explained a little bit. We'll have to demo it at some point. I think we're going down this way and not back to the entrance, although maybe we go back to the entrance. Oh, that's a telepipe. Wait a sec, this is the entrance, isn't it? No, this isn't. I'm easily confused. Yeah? I had a twin. While ours is already in its final evolution, it is not going to change from this point. So, whatever you see in this case, I hope you like it. If we're going to be encountering each other as often as 3 times in this quest line, I think. I hope you still think it's cute later, I guess. Over here? Yeah, there it is. The little sparkly bit. Well, I can't see exactly what it is, but I can see the shiny thing. Wants to have a new master, I see. Well, I think that's it for the quest. Do you have anything special to say? I think you just have a single line of dialogue, but just to be sure. What about you? You got anything special to say here? Yep, you understand what a scumbag that guy is. It was just him. Alright. You, what do you got to say? He sounds upset with us, but you know what? We did his job. So what's he gonna do? Beat the shit out of us for it? I mean, honestly, he might. He looks like the kind of dude who totally would. Alright, we should probably go and deal with our item management over there. We can't feed the mag again yet. No. Let's replenish our healing supplies, and then we should have some new quests available. I believe we get those and we don't have to, like, walk into Forest 2 or anything. Oh, this thing has the charge ability, which is pretty strong, but of course we can't actually equip that, and it's on a terrible weapon type anyway. So, yeah. Still worth a reasonable chunk as a result. Alright, anything else going on over here? Nope. Alright, so we're just gonna go deposit our cash. Yeah, you can see we've got more areas available to us, more quests, rather. We got a whole another 4. We're not going to be able to get all of these done today, I don't think, but still. We may be done with the forest area by the end of Wednesday, which is pretty good. Alright, we move on to journalistic pursuit. What have we got going on here? We got to protect somebody while they do stuff, I guess. Information is controlled by the government, giving information to broadcast to the public. You know, we have had so much... we've had so many very questionable figures with our quest givers at this point that this person is starting to sound like a bit of a conspiracy theorist. We haven't even seen Central Dome for ourselves, so that'll be interesting. Also, she's a higher level than us, but of course, she doesn't have, like, real gear like we do. A big thing is that the NPCs don't have the benefit of mags, among some other things I don't think they have. And yeah, she's got a tier 2 handgun, so she's not going to be doing much of anything damage-wise. Not compared to us. I guess at least that means we don't have to be concerned about kill stealing in case EXP is that much of a worry, which... I mean, I would like to get to 39 sooner rather than later. It won't happen today, but... still. Oh, I don't need that. I can just chuck that in a second. Oh yeah, I didn't talk to any of the NPCs before I started the quest, now did I? To see if there was anybody who had anything new to say. I can go back and do that, though. Because again, some of them do have, like, things that they say about the current situation, as you've noticed. And let's see how much of the background of the whole situation here we can get for ourselves. After all, I think this game has a really good story, which is probably not something a lot of people associate with an MMORPG, but yeah. Funny, we get to talk to that dude while we have said journalist in our party. And that appears to be the only unusual NPC, because yeah, all the ones that are normally here just have the same dialogue every time. You wouldn't have guessed. That the wild animals are vicious, really? What a strange person you are. I like the fact that we were able to just hit that thing that was off screen. That's so awesome. Love it when stuff like that happens. We're not hurting enough that I feel the need to use that on my actual health. So... I mean, I don't know about, like, what sort of housing they would have, or what happened to it, because it does sort of seem like anything that was here, other than doorways, there's, like, a couple of little potential remnants of things that might have been... Like, there's clearly some tiny little man-made structures, but... Then again, remember that Pioneer 1 was a ship full of scientists and military people. They weren't exactly, like, regular houses, probably. They were probably more, you know, researchy buildings. Researchy buildings, you know. Something more utilitarian that happened to have an area that one could sleep in. I mean, yeah, this area is kind of lacking in evidence of explosions, right? I mean, there's that big chunk of rubble that we always see in, like, every quest. Yeah, that thing. It kind of looks like a rocket or like an escape pod or something came off of Or again, possibly like a deployment for one of those unmanned units we heard about. Could be if they sent the Mars rover here or something. No, wait, no, that would have, like, inflatable stuff on it, right? Like, it was basically packed in balloons to prevent it from taking a hard landing. Because you don't really want your scientific equipment taking a, you know, potentially getting smashed on impact, is what I'm trying to say. I think. And yeah, we can go on to the next area through that red teleporter, but I'm going to check out the last of this particular map here. Again, looking to see if we find anything neat. There are rare drops from certain enemies that, of course, we haven't really had a chance to discuss at this juncture because none of them have happened yet. So, hey, why not get into more fights in order to try and push the possibility of finding one? Ooh. Oh, it has no percents. Well, damn. I guess at least you can see what the model looks like on the Tecker screen once we finish the quest. That is a little bit more gloomy of an atmosphere anyway. Well, yes, possibly because they were all blowed up. Or mauled by various creatures. I don't know if you've been able to get a good handle on any of the not greatness going on here, Chief, but this thing right here is a healing ring. If we were missing HP, we could go in here and we could recover our health. But we're fine right now. And it's free of charge, just slows you down. If your HP is super high and your meter is like almost empty, it has to activate twice because instead of just instantly refilling you, the meter fills up slowly based on how long the animation plays. In short. So it might go through one animation cycle and still not have given you back your full HP. And you took a decent chunk of damage from that thing, all considered. I think it hurt me more, though. But hey, not to worry. We gained a level. We got all of our HP back. Our HP. And we gained some stats. All right. And that... Oh, shit. I need to go pick that up. Weather observation, huh? I mean, it could be. It just kind of looks like a tin can on a thing. Because, yeah, some things definitely look like they were, you know... The textures look like they're from the GameCube era. Gee, I wonder why that is. But hey, sweet. Free bonus for attack power. A free bonus for attack power, rather. Just for doing the game, basically. Just for hanging out. Nice. I didn't even have to gain a second level for that. Alright. Yeah, we're at a point right now where my commentary is not going to be super good because there's not much happening. We have gained the basic gameplay cycle, and most of these enemies are basically just the same as anything we've encountered at this point. Oh, you're confused, huh? Yeah, I mean, it's a very weird situation that, to be honest with you, I don't know if most of the folks on the Pioneer 2 really know how to describe it, because it's very strange. Alright, and hitting that switch should let us go do the thing that will let us finish the quest. However, it has spawned a bunch of enemies behind us, which, to be fair, that is usually a good indicator that you're doing the right thing if you upset the enemies in an area. That means, hey, progress time! Does this thing have... Got 20% against AB, so I guess I'll take it for now. Alright. What do we got here? Accessing Pioneer 1, access denied. Gee, I wonder if that's because it was blown off the fucking map. Local data. Everything was working okay until it happened. Every log ends at the exact same time. Gee, I think that means that something terrible happened at that point, huh? Yeah? Oh, gee, you didn't think of that before, you fool? I think you should find out. Yeah, I mean, I got a feeling that's not going to go well for us very soon. And yeah, we will deal with that in a few moments. And yeah, there's the healing ring doing work for us. don't think we can actually do a whole lot over here, but I mean, I guess we can get in some fights. We can find some boxes. We can find healing items and Gizande discs that we can't use. Gotta go find some new cat foods to test out. Alright, you have yourself a good trip there, Fire Drake. And right, I don't think she dropped a telepipe, so oh no, she did. I just have a terrible memory is the issue. Let's go ahead and dump the junk out of our inventory. Yeah, why am I looking at the stats on that thing? That doesn't matter. Oh shit, we got ourselves a 4-slot armor. That is great. That is an amazing drop, actually. That's why I try usually to just look at everything. And then I didn't tell you what a Star Atomizer is. The Star Atomizer fully heals you and all of your nearby party members. But as we're operating alone, obviously it's going to be much more useful to just have just use just sell it for the money. We got there in the end, I think. Yeah, we'll sell that thing and let us go talk to the Tecker guy and take a look at our rifle here. Oh, it's an ice sniper. It's not even a good one. Anything for sale? Oh, interesting. Just seeing the 15% hit made me light up for a second, even though the big swords are not a weapon type that we can use, because we're all about the shooty shoots here as a shooty class. Oh yeah, let me remember to restock my healing items. Duh. Let me try not being a complete tool. It's a little tough. It's definitely not easy. That goes in there. Auto sort and go back. Good time. Yep. Off you sneak. I bet that military man has nothing new to say to me. Yep. Like to know what's happening on Wriggle? Well, I mean, perhaps you could go down there yourself. Or is he too low level or something? And there's our 1,200 Mercedes for the job. Alright. The next quest, I'm pretty sure the next quest is one that we are going to be pretty safe in. Yeah, the fake and yellow. This is just all... This quest, we literally just fight Rappies, so we're not really going to be in super danger. Because they're not terribly strong. Yep, this guy really likes his feathery penguins. Alright, Chief, we'll see what we can do for you. If we can find this guy. Oh, hey, you. Don't we see her in a... No, we see her in one of the side quests. I haven't seen Dr. Goals. Sitting on a wriggle. What about this dude, the sunglasses elf? Yeah? Well, cool, dude. That doesn't really help us too much with our quest, but alright. Don't know anything about biologists. Alright. What do you got to say, Mr. Military Man? Hey, you! Hey, you kids! Don't talk to any... I'll do whatever I feel like. See, we know each other. Friends. Fucking nerd. Dr. Montague, huh? He doesn't burn things, does he? Oh, no, pardon me. That's a bit of a... That would be a typo. But, yeah, I can't believe you would do this! It's like when you open the cookies that Tony wrapped for... That they wrapped for Tony's party in Earthbound. This guy, blue creatures you've never seen moving around everywhere. Well... there is an alternate blue version of the Rappy, which we might see that as a potential thing, because there are rare monsters that spawn in this game. I haven't really talked about it yet, because it's not as big of a deal most of the time. But on the other hand, I'm actually thinking more of the blob monsters from the cave level, which, oh, those things are annoying. Can't feed our mag yet. Restart our menu. Hey, dude. I can actually walk right up to and talk to this one. And it speaks punctuation. Yes. Yes, that's how you fight with a gun, is as close as possible, right? Oh, we shot that one from too far away, and you can see that it got very, it was not happy about that particular turn of events, and it started running off early. I think we can set this up like this, and... Oh, well, they all started going away nice and quick, so that didn't work out too well, but, right now, yeah, there we go. And you can see that time that the fire trap did tremendous damage because Rappies are actually weak to fire. And yeah, the fire traps deal fire elemental damage. It's just that, you know, that's a minor gimmick, and setting landmines is not really the most effective way to fight most of the time. Especially not as a ranger, and especially because the damage is kind of limited. I mean, 169 is pretty decent damage, but you gotta remember also that those trap counts, basically, I think they only go up when you hit a heal ring or when you level up. And healing rings don't appear in a ton of areas, so, yeah. We'll demo the other ones just for fun. And yeah, you can see that target is confused, but that doesn't really do much of anything right now because obviously it's the only enemy in the area. If there was a large group, which maybe I should show it off there, that might be a little bit more effective. But let's place this freeze trap and you should be able to see... Yeah. So these are quite useful in a greater variety of circumstances than the others. But again, I'm probably still not going to use them a ton. But hey, you get to see what they do, so... Yeah, you can see me goofing off a little bit in this quest, by the way, because I am just so not threatened by any of these enemies. I mean, the fights are a little bit slow, but whatever. Alright, now we got a group of 6 here. This is not the biggest group that we fight in this quest, by the way. Unfortunately, it's just these duders, so it's not like they really have much to offer in terms of a challenge. So they can throw as many of these at me as they want. If you want all the EXP out of the fights, though, you should probably be a little bit careful about using the hard attack exclusively, because you've probably noticed that it has noticeable knockback, and that's actually been a major thing that has helped us out with doing combos of just that. Against an enemy this slow, even with the shotgun, you can drive them back with just mashing the X button, basically. Excuse me. Come on. I used to be way better at controlling video games, by the way. Sort of thinking about that right now. And a telepipe there. I mean, that's nice and all, because that is a source of free teleport for abusing a certain glitch here that I can show off for, which is something that is exclusive to the offline mode, unsurprisingly, but I'll show that in a moment, once we get to a better room to do it in. How many do we have here? 7, I think? No, wait, no, 8. That one is actually legit. Alright. Yeah, I mean, these guys are pecking on me, you could say. It's a reasonable amount of damage, but not as impressive as you think. And it's something that we can fix up in a bit. But I want to see if I can show this off. So we got a sizable group here. We're going to throw down a telepipe and we're going to exit for a moment. And yeah, let's just dump our inventory stuff here. Need to feed yet. I'll pick up the telepipe in the level if I remember. If not, it's fine. Okay, so rare enemies are a thing that I've mentioned existing, and there's a couple of species of monster in the game that have rare variants, although we don't get to see the Rappy here. The blue version of it. So offline, the enemies are just re-rolled every time you leave the map and return. Online, obviously, that shit is all like stored. So offline, you can use a telepipe and leave the level and return in order to cheese attempting to roll the rare versions of enemies who have generally better drops than the regular ones. In fact, we're going to try it again. I believe the rare spawns are a 1 in 512 chance per enemy. So with a group of 8, if we're re-rolling it every time, that's a pretty decent chance of getting one to show up, all considered. At least for a single wave. You know what, I've got 3,500 just on hand. I could just tank all these telepipes and we could see if we can get the bluebird of significantly more EXP to show up. I think they occasionally have, like, different model sizes, but that has absolutely nothing to do with the enemy whatsoever. It just, sometimes they look bigger. We'll do this. We'll throw all of these away. They're pretty easy to recollect, so I won't even necessarily... I don't even necessarily know if I'll rebuy them. Oh well. Whatever. Hopefully we get to actually see this, that's all. Alright, one last shot, and then we just carry on with the mission, and... And yeah. Yeah, sadly, nothing doing. Well, we tried. Again, that sucks significantly less if you are not a robot and you can cast Ryuker, which is the spell that is the equivalent of a telepipe. Or at least it feels less bad. I mean, obviously, it's like, oh no, I spent a little bit of my extremely available cash. Oh noes. A minor inconvenience. But you do feel a little bit silly. I'll check out that halberd in a minute and see if it's any good. The answer is going to be probably not, because you can see that life drain ability really did come in handy for us a little bit. Even if we did end up having to heal at the end. It's just 20% dark. By the time we get to that part of the game, we won't be using those anymore. Drop the Zalur disc. I shouldn't really need to bother dropping anything. I'm pretty sure my inventory is fine. Excuse me. Yeah, we're gonna lose out on a little bit of the EXP here, because, yeah, I should have let those guys group better. Come here, you three. What's that? Ah, it's garbage armor. Alright, pull this thing out and... Oh. Open this door, and... Hey, you! I know, this mission didn't yield any rare enemies, I'm upset. Got a great eye. No, I could just tell which ones I could actually talk to. You know, game interface. It's pretty decent. I mean, the antenna on the forehead are a little silly looking. It's hairy? Bird. I mean, I guess feathers are a little bit like that, but steel's heavier than feathers? Wait, no, sorry, that isn't the right joke. Pardon me. Oh, I get it. He's a furry. I don't even mean that in a mean way. It's just like, well, I mean, there it is. He's a furry. What else do you want me to say? Alright, let's go back and grab that telepipe, and then we'll pour it out. I'll pick this up for a little extra cash. Why not? Disappointing that we couldn't see any of the rare enemies, but you know what? That's alright. Sometimes these things happen. Actually, let's see if we can pick up any more of those, yeah. Or these. And we're going to handle our affairs here in town, and then I do have something to show off before we go. Oh, I thought I had a... I guess I didn't. I was wrong. Oh well. Yeah, restock our telepipes, and what have we got in the shop? Nothing of note, I'm sure. It would be nice to find a higher level armor that has 4 slots, but it's not required. We'll live if we can't find it. But hey, I was curious. I don't know anything about that for you, buddy. Oh yeah, you're... Yeah. The fanboy. Alright, we're gonna go back down to the planet's surface, and this is a thing that you really would basically have to just, like, try doing yourself, I guess. And we can see that, hey, there's another Rappy we can talk to. I think there's a couple more, right? And we have no idea what they're saying. However, this is related to something... I believe if you have a GBA plugged into the 4th slot and turned on, this is how you can access, like, a mini Chow Garden game, and you can gain access to the Tails Chow, which you can transfer to Sonic Adventure 2 or Sonic Adventure DX. Like, it's a strange bit of connectivity, but yeah, Sega was definitely... Sega was thinking in 3 dimensions a little bit when it came to tying their games together. Is that really any stranger than the much mythologized Stop and Swap? I mean, honestly. But also, like, I would not like the idea of having to pay for and learn how to play another $60 game just to get the Tails Chow in my Sonic Adventure 2 way back when. Thankfully, I think I played this game before I played any of the Sonic Adventure games. Hooray! 800 bucks. We rescued a scientist from getting horribly lost. Or something. Oh yeah, what am I doing? I think we got enough time to sneak in one more quest before I bring this stream to a close. So let's go on to native research here. Assistant at a laboratory. Not very specific, huh? Really need biological data on Wriggle's native animals. Huh. Interesting. Automatically stored in capsules. Collect from 5 different... Only works for 20 minutes. Okay, that's going to be a little bit rough. Don't talk to anybody about this request. There's a couple of these dudes here. Let's try to go through this dialogue as quickly as possible, but we are going to take a look at it. I mean, everybody around here seems to be hiding a lot of information. So if we wanted to do the deepest dive possible, that might be a little bit on the rough side for us in terms of in terms of anything. Alright, I don't think this room is the one that counts for getting this particular group of enemies. But yeah, we really only have to collect the 5 sets of data in this level, and we can skip the other encounters if we want to. Most of the time. You can see the door is unlocked, so I think we actually can just skip this if we already have the data. But as you can tell, we don't, so we're gonna do this. Ah, it's good money. There we go. There's our first data. We've only got 4 more to go. Boy, if they all come that fast, that'll make this really easy. Is this just a chest room? No, there's monests in here. Right. And the Gigish over there is the upgraded version of the sword, which means that we can't equip it, but I can take it to the Techer and you can get a quick look at what the model looks like, and you can see that the sword-type weapons in this game are comically gigantic. Oh, yeah, I figured there were a couple of these. A couple of the little bugs. I was wondering what... It just takes that long for them to die. I remember that one was only 3 monests. Once I remember that room actually had that encounter. So, it took a little bit. Oh, we don't need that night power. That's not stronger than anything we have. And you can see there's the way downstairs, which is not of concern to us at this juncture. I think there's one of the data points behind this door. We do have to go downstairs at some point into the next floor. But for now, we can just do this. And I mean, I think we're at such a point where these fights are still fast enough that it's fine for us to take a few extra ones. On higher difficulties, you either have to do this later or you have to be really selective about what fights you get into. Ow. Those things do like 50 damage a hit. I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to how much damage those things deal. Alright, so this'll be Rappies, right? Yeah. Well, I got rid of one of them a little early. It still counts, though. Hell yeah. I think we can actually go downstairs now, but I'm going to attempt to do one more area up here, which I should be able to manage. Alright, now we can just skip a lot of these other encounters. A lot of the other item sources, rather. I don't know what unlocked there, but something did apparently. Yeah, I was gonna say, I know there's the other type of wolf can spawn at the first floor, even in regular encounters, so that should be here. Alright. Now, our time is down by about half. We gotta book it. Oh, we did not get caught on the thing like an idiot while I'm readjusting in my chair. Heal. That'll only eat into a tiny amount of our time, so we should still be fine. This room, I think is... Yeah, this room is Booma's. Okay, I see where we need to go. We want to go to the red teleporter, which will take us back to the Pioneer 2. And not to the boss chamber. Thank goodness we don't have to fight the fucking boss in this time period. I would be so toast. Get these things out of my way. And yeah, I know that we don't have to do this fight. Fuck, sorry. I know we don't have to do this fight, because, yeah, the gateway is right here. And this should just get us getting attacked. Yeah, here we go. With the Hilda Bears. They're not bears, they're apes. So I don't know why they're called that, but here they are. And by they, I mean only the one, surprisingly. If we wanted, we could go back and farm the EXP now, possibly? I'm gonna go heal and see about that. Because, hey, why not get ourselves some extra experience? It's not like over-leveling can hurt us in this game, strangely enough. With some of the mechanics in this game, I'm surprised they didn't make something that was that rude. But, video games, am I right? Sometimes I really don't know what to say other than video games, am I right? Which, to be fair, I think that covers a reasonable spread of emotions. Exactly. Hello, Lampy. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Oh, the shotguns are incredibly good in this game. Just the sheer range that they cover. The damage is really great. Being able to target up to 5 enemies at once. I guess it's supposed to be offset by the fact that they have a very slow rate of fire, but it's really not that bad. It is very easy to deal with, and since we're using the heavy attack, since our accuracy is that high, that we can just spam it constantly, we don't have to worry about that. Yeah, some of them can be kind of meh. But yeah, another big thing that's helping us is, let me pop open the mag stats here. You can see that I've buffed up our power stat all the way to 80, so we're getting a huge amount of bonus attack power here. It is doing a lot of work for us. But that's absolutely why I throw so much into strength in this game, is because once you start getting these hit-all weapons, or anything that just hits large groups, I guess. Hit-all is not necessarily accurate. The massive attack gains are gonna go a long way for you. It's gonna make you want to play it again. Well, I mean, I think you should. It's a very fun game. The last time I tried to play this, though, I was playing it on... I was playing one of the private servers for PSO Blue Burst. And it wasn't that long ago, but the way my desk is laid out right now is kind of terrible for the way that the controls in that game are, and it was giving me a serious wrist ache. Like, it was kind of messing me up to play it, but it's still fun. Oh, also, Photon Blast, so we can do this and we can just pick on these poor defenseless rappies a little bit. I can just be incredibly rude. Yeah, I'm sure that I can probably set things up better around here, or just get something with, like, a soft wrist thing. you know, to protect my wrists. But I'd have to actually, like... I'm also thinking I gotta get a new desk at some point. I keep thinking about this because my desk is not exactly the greatest thing in the world, and it's... Frankly, it's a little bit too tall, and also, like, it's too thick. The drawer that it has is really big. The handles broke off it a long time ago, and I never fixed it, though. So, one thing is that I have a mic arm for, like, mounting on a desk, and I have not been able to get that thing attached because the desk is too thick for the clamp that it has. It sounds real silly, but it's like, you know, I'm doing this I'm going for the more expensive option just because I want a new desk in general that would have better places to store my stuff. And in fact, also, just to maximize the amount of space that I have over here, I've been looking into, like, L-shaped desks. That'll give me a little bit more space at the wall to have stuff over here. I say over here as I'm gesturing to something that nobody can see because I don't have a webcam. Which I'm sure some people have probably thought that was strange because way back when I was going to look at doing a VTubing thing. I'm still probably going to do it, but I'm probably still going to go with, like, the flat option. I'm not a big fan of, well, just webcams in general. Listen, I get very paranoid about those in particular. Like, that is my big thing of... My big tinfoil hat thing is that webcams tend to be a little bit easy. That, yeah, there was definitely some software that was posted in some of the servers for even for fairly simple PNG tubing stuff. So that may yet be a thing in the future, but it probably will not be until after I complete this game. Just by virtue of, if nothing else, because I would feel quite silly starting to do that in the middle of a playthrough of a game. So I would really want to be like, hey, yeah, I should work on getting all the assets and stuff together, probably for whatever the next game that I'm going to do, because this is going to take us a couple of weeks for sure, because there is a lot. There is a lot, let's put it that way. The quest line for the game is fairly lengthy, especially because, I mean, we're up to this point in the forest quest line today. New model variant every 2 weeks at your current rate. I have seen that you've been posting a lot of stuff, and that I'm glad that you are enjoying doing that. It makes me happy to see other people be happy. So, what I was trying to say is that we are as deep into the forest quest line as we are right now, so we can probably finish that. In fact, probably tomorrow we will be able to actually go and beat the dragon. But once we start getting to the cave, that is an area that takes significantly longer. And there's definitely some bosses coming up. I'm especially thinking, oh god, Volopt is gonna really upset me. Because, hey, being a robot, you're not immune to shock, but you are immune to paralysis. The setup all arrived at once. Well, that's fine too! Ooh, that is... I'm going to keep this, actually. Despite the fact that you can see... Like, I mean, I guess I could probably try pushing that for a better HP drain ability, but I think that's good. And yeah, you can see... I don't think I really properly showed you this, Lampy, but the stat on this thing of 40% hit. I found this in the ruins in like towards the end of my playthrough when I was in From the Depths, which is the unbelievably freaky original last quest of the storyline in the OG version of the game, and then they added in Central Dome Fire Swirl in PSO Plus, which is we're on episode 1 and 2 Plus is our means of playing this. And yeah, that quest is really nightmarish. From the Depths, not Central Dome Fire Swirl, although Central Dome Fire Swirl is kind of messed up. But yeah, it is a whole big tribute to Burning Rangers, which is something that I didn't know about when I played this game. So I was like, okay, this is really strange. After that horrifying nightmare of terror, Soul of Steel, I think, is one that was not in the original episode 1 and 2, or I don't know where it sits in the Dreamcast version, but I don't remember seeing it in regular 1 and 2. But it's in 1 and 2 Plus, and oh my god, that quest, oh, that is, like, I mean, okay, it's a little bit spooky, but mostly I'm just like, ugh, because it sucks to play. When I actually get to playing that, you're probably going to hear me just go, oh, fuck, for like an entire stream. Oh... that quest. That'll be a while, though. Yeah, that is absolutely true. So, I'm not really sure how much of my YouTube content you look at where I do video essays and stuff. Yeah, that's Soul of Steel. That quest is... oh boy. Yeah, that's the one I was just making weird noises about. What I'm saying is, I don't know if you, like, see any of my YouTube stuff, but over a year ago now, actually, I did a video about the first Phantasy Star, and looking at that as being, like, that it was this really important, influential game, and talking a little bit about how it definitely feels like, especially once you beat King Lassic, the game very much verges into being kind of inspired by Alien. And let me tell you, it is way more so once you hit the ruins in the original PSO. Like, that whole area is just H.P. Lovecraft and the early Alien franchise. Down to, like, in my opinion, some of the thematics of the original Alien, but that's a whole other story. So, yeah, saying that, this is about where we're gonna end it here, because I've been streaming for just over 3 hours, and I'm still looking to do 3-hour streams from here on, unless things change, I guess. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope people will enjoy seeing me play this, because I love this game quite a bit.